Hey friends on Limitless Wealth TV, it's Stephen Michael Miller and
Kris Krohn.
and I'm here today to talk about Kris's biggest deal yet.
It just happened this morning. So today's a big day. Tell them why, Kris. So today's the big day because after 6 months of working on my SBA loan, I just closed on our commercial convention center.
Woo! That's exciting.
Dude, seriously, it's the first real commercial deal that I've led strong out of the gate on because I do so much single family around here.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that we're always telling our viewers is you should be careful on commercial because it requires more money, it has more debt, it has more guarantees, but if you do it right, it can have way more upside than single family. So I thought we'd chat about it a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about this because I know there's a lot of people, we've actually had a lot of questions in the past of, hey, should I do commercial? Should I do residential? We've got Grant Cardone and other people talking about these massive commercial deals that they're doing, but I'm just a small little investor, or I'm just getting started. How do I really get going? And here we are to talk about your commercial deal that you're doing. And obviously, like you just said, we've done hundreds of deals, thousands of deals over the last many years in the residential realm. But I guess first of all, what was the impetus for you to start in this whole commercial deal with this whole event center that you're doing?
So Stephen, for me, it's interesting. Commercial space, whether you're doing retail or you have a box store, you need a warehouse. Commercial is always specific to a business. Residential rental real estate is always specific to just renting out a house and putting a family in there that wants to live there. But commercial is specific. It's like, well, what's your business and what are you doing? So I haven't really done anything in the commercial space because I haven't found businesses that I can securitize, homogenize, and line up the way I can single family homes.
Yeah.
But in the last 10 years, you and I, we've put on a lot of events in the event space.
A lot of events.
And when you rent out the Provo Marriott for 4 freaking days,
it's like this.
It's $28,000. It's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And after a while, I get sick of buying $13 cookies and paying $500 water service.
It's
like
they don't taste any better.
I get the Wada Boy that comes out for they charge. It's like, oh, our projector broke. No problem. You can rent ours for $2,000. I'm like, you can buy one for $2,000. It's like, I know you can rent ours for $2,000. I'm like, argh! So I've always wanted to get on the other side of that fence. Yeah. And about 18 months ago, with all the events that we put on, because many of you actually YouTubers from around the world, you guys actually come out. You don't know this, but you can actually come out, go to the website and check out some of the ways that you can actually come out to our events. Yeah. We have events that teach you about money and finance and real estate, but we have these ninja mindset courses. They're life-changing and transformational. Absolutely. And so people are always coming out to our events, and I just, it's crazy, Stephen. Last year I spent $400,000 renting event space.
Ouch.
So I started saying, what would happen if I actually rented an event center, as in like, let's go get a commercial lease on a big space or a warehouse for 10 years. Yeah. And as I started crunching the numbers, I'm like, dude, I can cut 40 grand a month down to like 20 grand a month. And when you go from 40,000 a month to 20,000 a month, it's not just half as much, but I'm only renting it for 3 or 5 days. Right. I can rent it out the rest of the time, make money.
Wow.
For 18 months, I've been trying to search for a place that had ample parking. That was the hard challenge. Yeah. 2 stories and would work. So I finally found the one that I wanted to do. And when I got there, I put in my offer and the landlord came back and he said, well, we don't want to rent it. We just want to sell it to you. I'm like, well, what would you sell it for? And they gave me a crazy good price. It was like $1 million, $1,030,000 for 17,000 square feet of really great commercial space. And so when I crunched the numbers, I'm like, wait a second. If I buy it, then in 10 years, I don't have to renegotiate. I don't have a landlord for 10 years, but also it's even cheaper than renting it. So literally buying it, my payment is under $15,000 a month. But here's the cool part. I can now rent it out for my needs for 3, 4, 5 days a month. But in renting it out, it has the ability to gross somewhere between 150 and 200 grand a month. So this is what's weird on this deal. The reason why
that's not a bad cash flow.
Well, on most real estate, you spend the first 85% of the time renting it out to cover your debts and your liabilities, and the last 15% is profit. This is the opposite. The first 15% is covering all bases, and the other 85% is all profit. Yeah. So it's interesting. I'll be the fourth largest event center in our county, servicing 500,000 people that can actually put 500 plus people in a room.
Yeah.
So the numbers worked out. The next big hurdle was SBA, trying to get the loan. It was a 6-month loan process.
Talk about that process a little bit. I mean, because there are other people that are trying to start businesses, do more in real estate, do other things. Talk about the process a little bit for those that may want to go down this road.
So an SBA is basically government-sponsored lending, and this is the government's way of saying we want to support business, and so you can apply for an SBA loan, but they want you to put a healthy down payment. I had to put down $440,000 today to actually make this deal work, and but then they financed everything else at basically prime plus 2.25, so right around I think 7% or 7.5%.
Okay.
And the reason why it took so long, part of it is because I got complicated finances. I have all my business entities, and so they had to round up financials from all the different things that I do. And I also had to sign a personal guarantee that this was going down. So they made me put more on the line than my credit. They wanted me to put my credit on the line and something that said, if anything ever goes south, you ain't getting out of this alive. But I look at it and I say, well, I'm already renting, I need 45 days a year. It only needs 38 and a half days rented an entire year for it to break even.
Right.
So it's cool, right?
Right.
So the numbers worked out, we're closing on it, and now we're going to spend, the SBA loan got done, and now it's going to be 90 to 120 days to do all of the build out, select all the furnishings, get it all put together. And SBA is kind of cool. They give me 9 months, 10 months before they actually start charging payments in case it takes longer. Cool. But no, it's cool. We signed on the deal and got a little video clip here of what the signing looked like. Hey gang, how we doing? So I'm sitting here at the closing table with these fine gentlemen that represent the Bank of Rock Canyon, and they've been super helpful the last couple of months in helping get to the closing table. I'm actually signing on a commercial deal that I'm going to be using as an event center. This is like 18 months in the works. It's been really challenging to find a place either in Salt Lake or Utah County that had, a surplus of parking, had the high ceilings, pretty much like the perfect arrangement. I've spent over $1 million renting out spaces, the Marriotts, the hotels, the convention centers to put on events over all these years. And so it's kind of cool. This is a little bit of a different kind of deal where I get a chance to actually own the event center, and then I can charge someone else $9 for a cookie. So anyway, it's kind of sweet. I actually called on this place. It's just got a great location, a good energy. We're going to be renovating the whole place. It's going to be perfect for our events. I get to do events the way that I want, and means that I don't have to worry about other landlords or owners telling me that I can't stand on chairs or do some of the other totally ridiculous and dangerous things that I sometimes do. And I'm just super excited about actually closing on this and having this whole opportunity. But I went to the owner of the building and I said, I want to rent your place. And they said, well, just kidding. We've been listing it for rent for 3 years. Now we just want to sell it. And when they told me what they're selling it for, I ran the numbers and I said, wow, that's a really, really, really low price. And they said, have you seen the building? It's in bad shape. No, the true story is the large conglomerate out of California consolidating their assets. They own skyscrapers, and this was just kind of a little bit of it was an asset that really wasn't working for them. So I'm super excited to be able to take their rotten apple, have an opportunity to turn it, we hope, into something really good in the community that creates great value for people. And I spend 40 to 60 days a year putting on events and creating value from people all over the world that fly in town. This gives me an opportunity to do it on my terms, the way that I want. And it's just an exciting opportunity. Having done hundreds of single family homes, having facilitated thousands of homes for my clients over the years, it's kind of cool to actually get into commercial for the very first time. And so this is a multi-million-dollar closing. And it's just a good step. It's a good opportunity. So something that I'm excited about, just want to share that update with you. So remember, as you're out there doing your deals, do due diligence and go find the deals that make sense out there, crunch the numbers, and then get out there and go after it.
Awesome, Kris. So talk to me. So you've just finalized the deal. We talked about the numbers of what it's going to be like. What would you recommend to anybody who's looking to maybe get into the commercial space? What's your biggest maybe advice what you've learned from this experience?
Stephen, for me, I would say that and I don't know if I'm about to give bad advice or not. So I just want to frame up that for me, I did this deal because I understand the business and I have my team that will run the business. And that creates I have confidence in my abilities and what we can do. So for me, this was a no-brainer. This was a very easy deal to do, but the deal has such a high ROI that now I can bring a couple of small-time investors in they can pop in a few $100,000, they can take a sliver of that equity, get a piece of the action. And if I wanted to, I could probably bring in a total of $3 million for just selling the entire opportunity away. But the reality is that it has the ability to make $1.5 million a year or $1 million a year. So you get into real estate long enough and eventually you find a deal that's a cash cow, and there's no way you would sell it unless you can trade it for a bigger ROI. This thing really stamps out at a couple 100% per year. So it's just one of those deals that you work hard at, and eventually you get one of them, and then you hold on to it and you keep it.
Awesome.
So I would say, to answer your question, that if you're going to go into the commercial space, make sure that you have comfort, a good degree of comfort and knowledge, and hopefully experience of the business that you're going to be supporting, because commercial is all about business, not about real estate.
Right.
It's just a necessary evil to actually make your business roll and go.
Sure. Awesome. Love it. Thanks, everybody.
Celebrating, yeah! You know, it's amazing, Steven. I spend 15 years and it all culminates in a moment like this, and it just feels good, right?
Yeah.
And the exciting thing is you just got to keep growing. You got to keep pushing yourself. So make sure you subscribe. Be watching these videos. We're here to share all of our, think about it. You got these two guys that have dedicated their life to this knowledge, and in these short little blips, we're passing on the most powerful, essential information that we can. And it's possible you might even want to go faster than that. If you do, click the link in the description below, and Steven and I will share with you some of our most profound strategies that cost very little money that can get you rip-roaring out the gate.